Wall Street welcomed President-elect Donald Trump by avoiding the crash that many had feared.
ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now with how the markets are responding. Richard.
Well, I've only been in the investment business for a little over 40 years, so I confess I've not really seen what we've gone through in the last 24 hours. I certainly was in the business in 1987 when the stock market crashed to the tune of 22% in one day. I was here on 9/11 when not only the tragedies of 9/11, but Wall Street was closed for an entire week. I do remember 2008 when Lehman Brothers went broke, when banks scrambled to stay alive, and obviously the mortgage crisis that was around. All of those things pale compared to what we've seen in the last 24 hours. If you were up about 1 o'clock this morning, you probably saw that the futures on Wall Street indicated the Dow Jones Industrial Average would open with a loss of 800 points. Well, surprise, surprise. Hardly the case when all was said and done today. How about a gain of 256 points? Let's take a look at the numbers. There you see the Dow up 256.95, 1.4% on very heavy volume, 944 million shares, closing at 18,589.69. The NASDAQ for the day up 57.5 points, 1.1%, closing at 5,251.07. That again on heavy volume of 2,117,000,000 shares. And the S&P 500 up almost 24 points, also 1.1%, closing at 2,163.26. Well, I just said the S&P was up 1.1% for the day, and wanted to check and see how that compared with the day after Election Day in the elections that we remember. Well, how about 2012, when Barack Obama was elected for the second time? The day after elections, the S&P was down by 2.4%. Remember, up 1.1% today. In 2008, when President Obama was elected the first time, guess what? The S&P was down by more than 5%. When George W. Bush was elected in 2004, the S&P was up by 1.1%, exactly what we saw today. And when George 43 was elected the first time, down by 1.6%. So I have to say, going all the way back to the year 2000, today ties the best return we've ever seen on Wall Street on the day after Election Day.
And Richard, what about expectations for tomorrow and going forward?
Well, Haley, I wish I were that smart. I guess I will tell you that, shocking as it may be, after being 9 days in a row on the downside on the S&P, we're only 47 points away from an all-time record high for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I guess we've pretty much seen it all.
We definitely have, just like as you mentioned in that 24-hour span. What a change.
Exactly right.
Thank you, Richard.